Okay, people, Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God!
Santa here? I know him.
Ho ho ho, everyone! This is Seahawk Claus letting you know that it's time for another episode of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. Here's your host. He's on my naughty list this year, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Well, ho ho ho, everyone. This is Moses, and welcome, 12s, to episode 322. The special Browns and Rams holiday edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show, the show made up of Seahawk fans from around the world just like you, talking about your Seattle Seahawks. Over the next few moments we share together, we hope that you are entertained as we discuss your Seattle Seahawks as they prepare to take on the Cleveland Browns and the St. Louis Rams. So sit back, relax, grab a desired beverage or scent of your choice, and remember, Seahawk Claus is coming to town, and he's pissed. As is the usual with every show, we are joined by the 12th Man Fan Jam posse, a ragtag group of die-hard Seahawk fans just like you from around the world. First, to my right, is my partner in crime, the yin to my yang, our own Father Christmas from merry old England. You know him, you love him. He is the champ when it comes to our trivia. He is Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Do you know, there's no good news or bad news today, but I'm doing pretty well, actually. I'm doing pretty well. You know who else is coming to town and pissed?
Who?
Johnny Manziel.
And drunk?
Oh. And drunk. I don't know if he's, yeah. We'll see if he's coming to town. I don't know how pissed he's going to be when he leaves, but I'm sure we'll see. So that's the right side. On the left side, we have our man from the Hotel California. Behind enemy lines, he never gets to play in any reindeer games. Welcome, Statsman Mark. Hi, Mark.
Reindeer games, nice. Yes, I am a Statsman Mark. In enemy territory, the 49ers are now on the clock.
Yes, they are the 4 and 9ers, if you would.
Yes, indeed. How good is that?
Yeah. What a great rim shot. He's the 4 and 9ers. There it is. All right.
There it is.
Gotta wake the drummer up. And, of course, the kids are here. Kids, say hi. There they are. Kids are here. All right, everybody's here. A couple people that aren't here, sadly. We are without our newshound, Shadowhawk Will. He is on assignment, headed to the North Pole before it melts. So we all wish him well and a safe and speedy return. And I think Matt knows a little bit about maybe Dustin. Dustin is not here. Matt, what did you find out about where Dustin may be?
Well, as I said to you, remember now, if you go back and listen to last week's game, right, everyone, I did sort of mention at some point that Dustin is about to get busy this part of the year because he does have to help out a fat old man with a beard who sneaks presents into children's bedrooms overnight. So so he's out preparing for Santa, I think.
Santa. All right. I was thinking some other fat man with a beard, but nothing came to mind. Anyway, those two will be back for our next show, I'm sure, because Dustin will be unemployed again because he'll be out of work.
There'll be no more seasonal work for Dustin after next week.
Sad but true. For those who listened to the show before, we want to thank you for joining us. For those who are listening for the first time, don't worry, we're better than this. We'll be gentle, but be careful. He sees you when he's sleeping because he's a stalker. All right. Show is run just like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and even a halftime. Quarter 1 this week, we are going to recap the Ravens game from last week. Then, of course, a 60-second rant from Matt between quarter 1 and 2. Quarter 2, we're going to talk about injury stats and lines for the upcoming game against the Cleveland Browns. Halftime is the best Seahawk-themed play-along game on the internet. It's 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia, mano y mano. The defending champ against the challenger. We have Matt, who is the dynasty in trivia, against Statsman Mark. So, Statsman Mark, you ready for that?
I am. I'm bringing my 4 career wins into this. And the good news is, if I pull this off, you know the odds are 17 to 1. So if I pull this off, big money. You know.
Mark.
It's no down on you.
It's any given podcast. It's any given podcast.
I love it. Any given podcast. Well said. Quarter 3, we'll go over the Rams game as much as we can. We'll explain that in a minute why. And then the fourth quarter, we're going to do our predictions, prognostication, and game balls. for both of those games. So, before we start, we always love to remind you to like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Contact us on this thread or the comments section of the video for feedback. Email us at 12thmanfanjam@gmail.com. Tell us what you think. Join our Facebook group, 12th Man Fan Jam Show. Lots of Seahawk discussions. We have a game thread on there during Seahawk games. And we're also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. I would like to give at this time a brief programming alert. The 12th Man Fan Jam Show will not be recording next week. That's right. There will be no 12th Man Fan Jam Show next week, guys. I know. It's very sad. Okay, get over it. But here's the deal. Because it's Christmas, and we're not going to record on Christmas. That's why we have two games to talk about in this episode. We will be back the first weekend of 2016 to preview the Cardinals game, though, guys. So get excited by that. Yeah, we'll be back. So thanks for listening and watching. And before we start the show, I would like to tell you that Seahawk Claus did stop by, and he left some gifts for the posse, and some of them are not here, but Matt and Mark are here. So, Matt, here's your present there, buddy, if you want to open it up.
Thanks. Hold on.
See what you got.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
I know. It's invisible trophy polish for your invisible trivia champion trophies.
That's just what I need. I'd run out of invisible
I
trophy
knew.
polish.
I knew you love it. I knew to see how Claus.
Because I've run out of polish, but I haven't run out of trophies.
Wow.
There you go.
Well played. Well played. Now, Mark, you also have a gift, so if you want to...
Yep. Now these child-proof wrapping jobs drive me nuts.
I know. It takes forever, doesn't it?
Oh, wow. Hey, look at this.
Well, 1,000 extra tokens for you. I know you need it.
Oh, wow.
And so I talked to Seahawk Claus.
For more of those ho-ho-ho moments.
That's the gift that I can keep on giving. Pay it
Oh.
Yeah, I'm especially drawn to webcam models with cesarean scars because I know it'll help go to the college fund for the.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
But it's all true, people.
Yeah. The gift will keep giving or the gift that'll keep coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is frustrating not to know their Christian name. I do stage names. And, I think lots of relationships have been built on less. And
oh, my God.
You met Aaron Rodgers? No.
Look out.
There's my rant. Yeah.
There you go. There's his rant. Now, we did get other gifts. Dustin received a pair of Gene Simmons platform shoes because, he's a little...
He needs them.
Autographed by Russell Wilson, so he got like that. And then Will got a kitty toy shaped like Kerfluffle. So... whatever the hell that is. All right.
What the hell is the shape of Kerfluffle?
I have no idea.
He'll just have
Happy
a wider
Kerfluffle.
smile.
Happy Kerfluffle, everybody. All right, let's get to the first quarter.
Holy shit, it's the first quarter.
Welcome to the first quarter as we take a look back at the Ravens game from last week. Before we talk about the victory, let's talk about how things went with the game. Wow, that went well.
Okay.
Mark.
Yes.
What was your thoughts on the Ravens game? 35-6 victory?
I'm sorry, I'm still in phony cheer mode from the gift unwrapping.
Put the tokens down.
Yeah, they're just jinx. So the Raven games that went well. Now, you know what? I know, huh? You know what? It was. I'll tell you. You know what? Even though it's an opponent like Baltimore, even though we were pretty heavy road favorite on our end, and look, it's a road
Everybody's
game.
on tonight.
It's a road. I know. It's a road win, and I shouldn't talk with my mouth full of tokens. That's a.
Thank goodness.
But you know what? The bottom line is they went in there. They were expected to win big. They did. They took care of business. They got early momentum. 21-0, I believe, by halftime, and they just slammed the door shut right away. And they didn't let a lesser team hang there. No major turnovers. We didn't let a lesser opponent stick around for most of the afternoon because once that happens, then we don't know the outcome. But the Ravens are in rough shape. They got Jimmy Clausen, who we've now twice with two different teams. I think that's that's a trivia probably question right there. But we won.
Not
and we
on
won
our show,
convincingly.
by the way.
Yeah, no.
That one. That one I might have gotten right, but we won and we won convincingly, and it's just good momentum for Seattle moving forward against. You have 2 games at home, and we'll get more into that later. But it was a very satisfying win.
It definitely was. Offensively, Matthew, 424 yards of offense for Seattle. Russell Wilson again just was, stratospherically good, unbelievably good. But Baltimore passed the ball pretty well too. They had 270 yards passing. But Russell Wilson, 23 out of 32, 292, 139.6 quarterback rating, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. No one's ever seen this before, but is he just not? I know we'll talk about Cam a little bit in the MVP talk, but is it fair to go ahead and even though Cam's 13-0 to say that Russell at least is in the talk for MVP this year?
Well, I mean, he's not quite elite, is he? If you listen to all the stuff that comes from the Brown coach, which we'll come on to when I have my rant in a little while, of course he should be MVP. I mean, I think, look, the only problem that he has is consistency. The start of the season is not the same as the end of the season, and it's sort of the story of the Seahawks all the way along. We sort of make it difficult for ourselves to start off with. We have a slow start, and then we come in at the end and hopefully grind them down and win. Should he be in the conversation? Absolutely, he should be in the conversation. The problem we've got, of course, is that Cam Newton is on an unbeaten record this season, and that's a problem. Had he have lost 2 or 3 games so far, then I think we would have the MVP sitting in our locker room. But as it is, because of the consistency issues, because of the poor start to the season, let's say, or the first part of the season, and finding form late, I don't think he will get it. But I think absolutely it's perfectly acceptable to have that conversation about him. Yes,
I think so too. Statsman Mark, what is your view on the MVP for Russell Wilson?
Well, I mean, again, he's on pace. I think. What does he have? 16 touchdowns overall. Is that what I read? Anyway.
Yes.
I'm asking other people what I read. Anyway, you know what? It's like, which puts him, I think, at 26 total for the year. So he's, if nothing else, he's on pace to set a personal record because I don't think he's ever had 30. But what I think what hampered his MVP chances is just, the overall success of the team or lack thereof affects it always. And then, it was kind of a slow statistical thing for him too, but, with offensive line issues, props probably have something to do with it well. And there, and there was some shaky games, but, the bottom line, the most important thing is that if nothing else this year, what I'm reminded of with RW is that he is easily mentally one of the toughest because he doesn't lose focus. He doesn't get down. His attitude doesn't go south. And that's a huge reason why, we have the win streak, why he's been doing so well is that his focus is as good as anybody's, Brady, Rodgers, anybody. So he has MVP type mental game,
The thing is, Mike, he's able to shake off anything bad that happens. He doesn't play on his mind. It doesn't become a Colin sort of Kaepernick situation where you've got that sort of demon sitting on your shoulder,
right?
Sort of telling you that you're about to throw an interception or you're about to do this or you're about to do that. Because I think that's what happened to Kaepernick. To be fair, he got into this really bad groove and couldn't get himself out of it. Whereas with Russell Wilson, he doesn't allow himself to stay in that groove. If something bad happens, it's a reaction. Okay, how do we make it right? How do we improve? How do we get to the next level? One step at a time. That's the sort of mottos that he uses. So he's mentally incredibly tough, but also, the ability for him now to be a dangerous weapon in the pocket. And I think, we're all used to him running around and scampering about and being agile and getting the first downs and all that sort of stuff. But suddenly, leaving him in the pocket is not a sensible place for a defense to leave him. So not only do they not want to flush him out of the pocket in case he runs around them and does, terrible things, but equally, if you leave him in the pocket, he's going to do terrible things. So he starts to become a dual threat as well.
Which is what he did in college. I mean, it's not a shock a little bit. For me, the whole Cam Wilson comparison, and I'm not being fair to Cam because they are 13-0.
Yeah,
and obviously he should be locked. He should be locked. Everything's fun right now. He's running down the field, cheering, doing his little dab and all that. Everything's happy right now. But I'm telling you, last year, as early as last year, I think the first game we played against them early, we took the lead with like a minute left, and they showed him on the sidelines, and he had that towel around his neck, and he had that dejected look. And I turned to my son, Lil Mo, I said, we've won this game. He said, why? I said, look at Cam. He don't want to go out there. He has no leadership at that point. So what I'm saying is at 13-0, he's very, very happy. But when they get in the playoffs and they fall down by 10, now he has done it. I know he's done it in Seattle, and he's done it in New Orleans, and he's done it so far this year. But listen, in the playoffs, every game is a road game at Seattle. Are you going to be able to do that for 2-3 games in a row if you have to, like Russell Wilson does? And if we're down by 10, Russell's getting in everyone's face. He's leading. He's looking. He's working. He's trying to make things better. He's not running around dabbing. He's not running around getting the crowd up in the game. He's working in his craft. And I just wonder when it starts, because they're not going to be 13-0 forever. When it hits the fan and Cam has to, when the going gets tough, where is Cam going to be? I know where Russell Wilson's going to be.
But this, I mean, for Cam, it's not going to be this week. They're playing the Giants, if memory serves, and
right.
They should be fine against the Giants. I don't see.
But when they get in the playoffs, they're going to have play the Cardinals. They're going to play us. They're going to play whoever.
Yeah, when they get in the playoffs, though, everyone starts at that whole 0-0 routine again. The whole of the season, nothing matters. The point being is that it's a different level of game. Everything goes up a level. Everything goes up a notch. Now, can Cam do that? I don't know whether Cam do that. I know that Russell can, and I've seen him do it. In fact, Aaron Rodgers can write you a very large, essay about how he went up to another level at the last year's NFC Championship game.
And in fairness, in fairness, real quick, Aaron Rodgers did the same in that game because he tied it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with Carolina guys that got into this last. Maybe last week is that I'm rooting for Carolina to go undefeated because I just think that pressure to have an undefeated season going into the playoffs is gonna weigh really heavy on their shoulders and their expectations. And they do have some playoff experience, but I wouldn't want our team to go 16-0 heading into the playoffs just because I think it's too much pressure. And I got to give Cam a little credit here with, the fact that he did stay focused in the game that we clearly should have won. But I did see maybe that was the beginning of my observation of seeing him turn the corner a little bit in terms of remaining focused and not throwing the towel over his head and writing the game off as a loss.
Right.
They had 2 80-yard drives back to back, I think, tie and win, and so I give him a little bit more credit. I think he's matured a tad, but everything, like you said, is going really well. He's flashing that smile. That those teeth look beyond unreal. I just, although I kind of wish I had him, but I think he's changed a little bit, and we'll see if he builds upon it, and if he's tested in the playoffs, if he stays to his new self, so to speak, or if he reverts back to something else.
I think they're playing the Giants, Falcons, and the Bucks, so they should have no problem going, unbeaten for the rest of the season. They should have, unless they decide to not go for it. I don't know why they would, and not play Cam for one of those weeks, just in case or whatever. But I can't see any reason why they would do that. So they have no reason not to go unbeaten. But I think this is the problem. Ask yourself the question: if I had the choice between, Russell Wilson leading my team or Cam Newton leading my team, then I'm going to pick Russell every single time. Mm-hmm. And that's not, that's not because I'm a homeboy, and that's not because I'm a fanboy of the Seahawks. That's just because I want the best quarterback on my team, and that's where he is. So, yeah,
I couldn't agree more. Now we look at this game defensively against the Ravens. 274-yard passing by Jimmy Clausen to me makes me head scratch a little bit, but overall, they were able to completely shut down the running game, which is what they're going to have to do against the Browns and what they're going to have to do against the Rams especially. Matt, they were able to completely shut down the running game, only 28 yards rushing, and I think the week before they had a 100-yard rusher, if I'm not mistaken. Is this defense, what do you see in this defense? That is it better than last year, better than the year before? Where are we on this defense? Because it's come a long way from the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we started at the beginning of the year worrying about a defense that wasn't able to shut down a game, if you like, that was allowing a fourth quarter victory, if you like, to slip away from our grasp every single time. And actually, if you look at the ones that we've lost, that's pretty much the case. I think they've solidified a bit. I think they've had a long, hard talk to themselves, to be fairly honest. I think it helped immensely when the secondary managed to sort itself out and get rid of some dead weight and get in some players that, get some players back that were able to allow our stars to do their job rather than doing their job and everyone else's job at the same time. I was a little worried actually about our run. Being good against the run was an interesting thing against Baltimore, because at the beginning of the season I kept thinking about how I was almost wishing that we had Red Bryant back. As if can we have something in there to stop that run against us, because that run seemed to be incessantly against us all the time early on in the season. Yeah, well, I think he is, isn't he? I think Red's still playing. But I mean, I think that seems to have stiffened up now. That whole defense seems to have come alive at the right time again, and it's come alive at the same time as the offense has come alive. And that moment when the two sides are working as one, that's where we start to become difficult to beat, and that's what we're seeing now. So yeah, it was good to see them stop the run. I think you're absolutely right. They're going to need to do that against the Browns for sure, because Manziel's obviously going to be too drunk to throw anything, so he's going to be handing it off constantly. So we've got to stop the run there.
Cheers.
But yeah, it's good to see that defense stiffen up, I suppose.
Zorny, your final thoughts on the Ravens game?
Well, I mean, Clausen, I think I was surprised when I saw how many yards he had total. But you know what? I think there was a little bit of a relax on defense. Automatically, we're lining up slightly different, or we're giving him everything underneath. With that big of a lead, it kind of makes sense. Of course, then Cam was out, I think, in the first quarter. Is that when he went out of the game?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, just to say as well, though, you can have as many yards as you like in a game. It's points that matter, not yardage.
Right, exactly. So,
Good point. Very good. Well, I think we will close the door on the Ravens game. 35-6 victory for the Seahawks, and we will move on. But before we do, we always like to do a quick caption that picture from the week before. Yes, caption that picture. We take a picture from the game before, and we add our own little caption to it. This is a famous picture that's been all around the internet, of course. It's a picture of our coach on top of the locker, supposedly because they had the offense on one side and the defense on the other, and he wanted to talk to both of them at the same time. But I love this picture because it has a picture of Clint Gresham, so you can caption either Clint Gresham or Coach Carroll in this situation. And Gresham's got a look on his face like, can you believe this man is as old as he is? All right. So, Matt, do you have a caption?
I have one, yeah.
All right, caption that picture.
Okay, so this is going to be Clint Gresham. Oh my God, I can't believe that I got first row at Pete Carroll's first rock concert.
Well done. Mark, do you have one?
I do, and this will be a caption for Pete. Caption is, "We're going streaking in Baltimore." With me.
Streaking in Baltimore. That takes you back a few years, does it, Mark?
Oh boy, I think I blacked out there once.
Oh no! Well, you need to drink to lay that thing down. All right, cannonball.
I'm choking on my own cigar smoke.
Dude, no, don't do that. All right. I have a couple, of course. Both of them are Clint Gresham. Clint Gresham saying, "Someone told Pete Carroll there was a spider in the locker room again." And this one's Clint Gresham. It's kind of like the old commercials, the old Folgers commercials. And he says, "I dipped Coach Carroll's gum into Red Bull before the fourth quarter just to see what would happen."
There you go.
So,
Can you believe that bloke? Was he 64 or something?
Oh, he's the second oldest coach in football.
Damn.
He actually looks like younger than when we hired him. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
All right. You know what else is crazy? Our predictions. Let's look at them. Let's recap them. Once again, we are keeping score. Game balls get 3 points. Prognostications 3 points. Nobody gets it. Closest gets a point. Predictions on the scores. On the button, both teams 5 points. One team on the button 3 points. If nobody gets closest, we get a point. On the scores, our guess was Becky Sum. She did very well, 35-10. I had to give it to 34-9 though. It was 35-6. I think I was just a little better than our guests, so I took the score there. Prognostications. Hey, look, I got the Matt. Matt got the prognostication because no one else got it. Matt had 3 turnovers and there were 2, so he was the closest than anybody else. Mark, you said 7 punts and there were 5. You were awful close. I was excited about all the punts, but then they fell so far behind they had to start going for it. So I think that kind of ruined your punt total. Yeah.
I should have thought of that ahead of time.
Yeah. And then game balls, we did something I think I'm going to do next year anyway. Instead of giving it just to one guy, I think I'm going to start giving it to guys that earn it. Like, wow, this guy really played well enough to earn it. And so Wilson and Baldwin, how can you decide on a game ball between those two? I mean, the way they're playing. So I gave it to Wilson and I gave it to Baldwin, which means I won week 13, 4-3 over the guests and Will and Matt. Overall scores, Will still in charge at 40. Dustin, 32. I'm a point behind Dustin at 31. Mark at 22. The guests are a point behind. And then there's Matt. So.
And then there's Maud.
Yeah. And then there's Matt.
Deary me. It's just a tragedy, isn't it, really?
You know, I was thinking the 3 of us just sitting here doing this show. It's like a certain group I know. It's kind of like
The Three Amigos.
The 3 Amigos. That's us. Or the 3 Wise Men. Or the 3 Stooges. You can decide later.
3 blind
All right. And we'll decide in between the first and second quarter because it's now time to take a break.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
We're going to take a look at the Cleveland Browns coming to town in the second quarter. We have stats, injuries, lines, and so much more to get you ready for Sunday's game against the Cleveland Browns. All that and so much more coming up next.
Well,
And now it's time for a 12th Man Fan Jam 60-second rant.
you know you make me wanna
Rant.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
Hello everybody, yes, it's me, I've got the rant because I won the trivia last week. Of course I did. Have you seen the opposition that I'm playing against, really? This week, it's not so much a rant, it's more a little bit of advice to anyone out there who's ever asked to sort of pass judgment upon another player. Now, if you happen to be a coach or a player or a general manager and someone says, what do you think of this player? The answer should either be neutral or positive. Don't ever cast any form of dispersions upon the abilities or skills of another player. It's just not very nice. Especially if you're Mike Patine of the Cleveland Browns. Because let's be honest, the only thing that this bloke knows about quarterbacks is which bar to find his quarterback in before the game. So, as far as all of that's concerned, if anyone ever asks, just say they're pretty good, they're okay, they're getting better, they're strong, they're intelligent, they're quick, they're agile, they're intangibles, all of that sort of good nonsense stuff will get you out of a tricky situation. But just don't open your mouth and say, yeah, they're not quite there yet.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
This is Little Mo from the 12th Man Fan Jam, wishing you a happy holidays.
Little Mo, do you believe in Santa Claus?
Well, I don't know about him, but I believe Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFL. It's the second quarter, bitches.
Welcome to the second quarter of a very special double episode 322 of your 12th Man Fan Jam show, the holiday /Browns/Rams edition, where we take a closer look at Seahawk opponents coming up this Sunday in the second quarter. We will talk about the injury stats and lines for the Seahawks in their upcoming game against the Cleveland Browns. But first, let's take a quick tail of the tape. When Seattle has the ball, their 5th overall offense will face Cleveland's 26th overall defense. And when Cleveland has the ball, the Seattle overall 2nd ranked defense will face the Browns offense, which is 21st in the NFL. All right. Medic Matt, what are some injuries in this game coming up for either Cleveland or Seattle that will probably have a big impact on it?
Well, I mean, injuries for Seattle are the standard, really. Marshawn Lynch out, Anthony McCoy out with an ankle. Was it ankle or was it knee? I can't remember. But he's out. And Jordan Hill out with his toe, the toe of doom that has been going on.
Toe of doom.
Toe of doom. But the one that really gets me is rules being out, actually. And I think one of the questions we need to sort of talk about here, and I think this is a good opportunity to do so, is the whole introduction of Christine Michael. Because that scares the bejesus out of me. That sort of exhilaration we had when he disappeared off to Dallas, and it was like, yes, then he's gone, and then there can be no more fumbles, and now he's back. Look who's back. So I mean, he'll probably get, as I say, he'll probably get about 200 yards in this game. Obviously, he won't have the ball throw any of those yards. He'll have dropped it way before any of that. But yeah, that's a little bit worrying to me.
Well, I'm not so sold he's going to be the main guy, guys. I mean, we've got Brown. Juwan Harris didn't work apparently, and so they got rid of him. I know a lot of people were like scrambling. Oh my god, we need a running back. And I said, wait, we ran 80 yards after he was hurt. I know it was the Ravens.
Give it to Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman had a couple good runs. I'm not sure what role Christy Michael's going to have in this offense until we see that Browns game. So I'm not going to get too excited about this. Plus, by the way, Fred Jackson just happens to be on the sidelines as well. So between Fred Jackson and Brown and Coleman, where's Christy Michael really going to fit in all this? I don't know. And I'm not all that worried about him getting 30 runs. But I do understand what you're saying about the concerns. Statsman Mark, what about your view on Christy Michael?
I mean, was it Sherman Smith? Is he still our running backs coach?
Oh, God, yeah. Is he still a running backs coach?
I think so, anyway.
Oh, my God, he's been a running backs coach for like 30 years, hasn't he?
I have his playing card. It's. You know what? I mean, I just tell him one thing is that it's just like, look, cover up the ball, don't fumble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sacrifice a little bit of yardage in exchange. Well, I think they'll work him in a little bit, but really out of our whole running back by committee thing that I'm curious about is that, Fred Jackson is his legs physically, he should be fine, and he's never given, obviously with Lynn Rawls, he's never given enough carries to get into any kind of rhythm, and so I'm curious if they gave it to him enough, if he would be able to pop some runs, have games like he used to have with Buffalo, and I don't know if Buffalo was his only team before he came to us, but I'm curious what kind of rhythm he would get into. I know he's 34 years old, so different, but he's kind of the X factor for me is how many carries he gets and
around
the backfield.
And to be honest, I'm not sure with the way Russell's throwing the ball, the way the receivers are getting up, the time he's getting in the pocket, which we didn't mention one thing in the Ravens game about the offensive line, which was just spectacular against the Ravens. And the Browns are going to be very similar. He's going to get time to throw the ball. I'm not sure that we really need a 100-yard rusher in either of these games. I really don't.
No, but we are traditionally, that's where we're based. We're in a run offense style. The fact that Wilson's had 4 games where he's sat in the pocket and done amazing things, I'm happy to do that again in this game. Always happy to do that again. But we do need to establish the run, and that you've got to control that part of it as well, in my opinion. So I want to be able to. It's not so much that we have to have a full 200-yard running game or whatever. It's just that we have to have that ability to do so. And if we start off early enough, and you can see that actually the run is just not there, then that does start making you very, very sort of one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I know what you're saying. And I'm not saying that we need no running game. I'm just saying we don't need 200 yards on the ground.
No.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Where in the past it was always Marshawn on first down, Marshawn on second down, and then, throw on third down to get Marshawn more carries. Yeah. I think now, obviously, because of the injuries, it's shifted. Russell Wilson has to, and I turned a little Mo when Rawls was limping off the field, and I said, all right, it's Russell Wilson's getting paid $20 million. Let's see. I mean, what he's done the last 3 or 4 games, if that's not enough, he's got to really do it now. And he showed up. So can Russell carry us through the next couple games? I think so.
Yes, he can. But I mean, just to say that there's a questionable over Cam Chancellor as well, who injured his tailbone.
Right.
So that might make the defense a bit spongy if He doesn't happen to play. I can't imagine him not playing. To be fair, not with the coccyx injury, but he should be fine. But we'll see.
His what's
But
injured there? What now?
Well, they put it down as pelvis, but if it's his tailbone, then really it's his coccyx.
How dare you say that on my show?
I'm a medical. I'm a fully qualified, self-qualified doctor. And I'm calling it the coccyx.
Qualified doctor, are you?
I'm self-qualified. I've just literally qualified myself.
I'm the self-appointed Reverend Moses. You're the
I am the
self-qualified
doctor. Absolutely.
Well, folks, there you go. If you're ever in England and you're sick, you know where to go.
If it's a tailbone or a groin strain, I am totally on top of it.
It sounded to me they're actually leaning towards keeping Chandler out of this game.
Possibly.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that
too.
The next two games, actually, even the Rams game, I'm not that worried about. We'll talk about that later, but I don't know. Maybe a little bit more worried about the Rams game, but I'll be honest with you. I think the next two games he can just nurse his tailbone. I'm not going to say coccyx because I'll trip over my mouth and
Don't trip over your mouth near a coccyx. It's just.
Oh my God. Okay.
He's going to be a game day decision. It looks like from what I'm looking at now.
He's day to day, aren't we all? Mark, what about a stat for this game coming up? What is the biggest stat that you see that's going to really decide this game against the Browns?
Well, we've already talked about the fact that Wilson's been hot. He's getting time in the pocket because the offensive line has actually been doing their job. Especially for the past month. And we're running back by committee. So again, for me, of all the things out there, it's going to be probably Russell Wilson, passing yards, passing TD. I think the passing game is going to set up the run game. So I think we're going to throw maybe more than usual, and then keep them honest with the run. But I think instead of the run and Lynch and Rawls setting up the pass, I think we're going to have to flip it a little bit. But this is Cleveland, and their defensive and offensive rankings are in direct correlation to their record, and our rankings are directly tied in with our success.
Yes.
So, but I would say the main stat is Russell Wilson just keeping up against a pretty spotty pass defense against.
Well, I know stats don't tell the story, but when I look this over and I you get the Seattle and the Cleveland stats together. If you're a Cleveland fan and you look at you're playing a team that's 5th overall in defense and 2nd overall in offense, I think your first reaction is, holy crap, what are we going to do with this team?
Yeah, holy crap.
Because they're the bottom 10, the bottom 3rd on offense and defense. And the best they are 11th against pass, I think because people just running on them because they're 30th in the run. Why would you throw the ball if the team's 30th against the run? So you probably just haven't thrown that much against them.
I mean, the first thing you do is you follow the lead of your quarterback and you take a stiff drink and you sit down and you think to yourself, how the hell do we come up against these guys?
Yeah. Brown Derby, maybe. Anyway, you know what though? I mean, the one intangible, the X factor stat, I guess I would say on the only hope that Cleveland even has a chance of staying in this game if Manziel himself runs for 130 yards or just drops back to pass, finds a hole, and goes. I mean, they're going to have to burn the clock as long as possible. They're going to have to limit Seattle's offensive positions to even be in this game. And him running, I guess it depends on what kind of coverage we play, but somebody's going to have to kind of spy on him a bit because he does have good legs and he can run. But
Mark, the thing is as well, though, is that you're playing a defense which is practiced against probably the best running quarterback in the league.
Right.
Well, and this defense is built for that. The way you beat teams like this when you're and we're going to talk about that. We're 15 I've seen anywhere from 15 to 16 and a half point favorites in this game. And the way you beat a team like that is misdirection and screen passes and things like that. Our defense is too quick for that to let that happen. And that's where teams have trouble. The Ravens, great example. They did some misdirections. They tried some screen passes. Didn't work. Why? Because we don't fall for that. We're too fast on defense.
Yeah, we play our defense. Everyone always says that we don't make it very fancy. We don't make it very showy. We just play brilliant zone defense. That's what we do. And we can get beaten with those little over the top dunks and dinks and things, and you'll get 3 or 4 yards here or there. But you get down to the red zone, then it starts getting really serious. And I don't think that they're going to get to the red zone very often. So
no.
it's. I wouldn't. If I was Manziel, I would feign an injury and sit on the sideline and let somebody else do it.
Well, that may happen because like I said, we're up to 16.5-point favorites now. Mark the over/under, which is the total score of both teams. Which, by the way, last week we hit. It was a push. It was 41, and we hit 41 exactly, 35-6, which doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
This week it's 43. Are you taking the over or the under on that?
I think over because I mean I have us at high 30s scoring wise, and I think the Browns will manage a couple field goals, maybe a garbage prevent defense end of the game type TD thing. So my hunch, I don't know what the weather is. I guess it's always kind of an X factor.
That's
it's
true.
Raining and this and that and the other. But I think the game will go over because we're gonna, out of 43, we're gonna be scoring almost that much on our own. I have us a few points shy of that, so that's why I see it as going over. And I don't. It's possible to shut them out, but I just have a feeling they'll, one way or another, they'll get a couple field goals and maybe a garbage TD.
Probably. Hey Matt, the over under is 43. Do you care?
I don't give a rat's
ass. Real quick. Disclaimer, 12th Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting on anything at any time. These numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. Please do not take these or anything we ever say on this show seriously, ever. Speaking of not taking anything seriously on this show ever, it's time to get to know your opponent a little better. I thought I'd culture the show up a little bit. We'd get the show some knowledge. You listen to the show, you want some knowledge. We want to give you some knowledge about the Browns. We don't know a lot about the Browns. So I thought I would give you a brief unauthorized history, a brief unauthorized biography of Johnny Manziel, if I could. Johnny Manziel was born December 6, 1992, in a back alley behind Hooters restaurant during break. By the age of 4, Johnny had become deadly accurate in bouncing quarters into shot glasses. A huge turning point of Johnny Manziel's life came when, at the age of 12, he discovered that Bud Light had less calories than Budweiser and tasted almost the same. At the tender age of 16, Johnny Manziel committed to Texas A&M, only to find out too late that the college was known for the 10th man, not the 12th man, not the 12th can. He was also deeply disappointed when he arrived at Texas A&M, only to find out that the A&M in Texas A&M doesn't stand for alcohol and money. While at Texas A&M, he majored in chemistry and beer pong, with a minor in party planning. He was the top of his class in those fields, and was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in 2014, and still considers it a work release program for his past transgressions, while he sits hoping someday to play for an NFL team. That is a brief unauthorized history of Johnny Manziel. And it's time to get ready for the second quarter. It's time to get ready for the best Seahawk team trivia show on the internet that you can play along with. It's another can't miss edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia coming up right after this.
Hooray!
Hey, this is Matt, all the way from merry old England, and you're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia with your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia, the game where you, the listener, and the viewer can play along with the posse while I subject them to trivia questions based on the Seahawk opponents. This week, our contestants are the posse themselves, which is, in this case, Matt and Mark. And here are the rules.
So here's how the trivia game works. There will be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there will be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tied players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia Champion and gets to have a special 60-second rant between the first and second quarter of the very next episode of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. As an added bonus to those listeners on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen, so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well if you wish. If you'd like to play along, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline for each of the contestants. Before the taping of this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take this quiz. And if the contestants want to know what the kids said, they may ask that only once during the entire game show and only during the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia! Okay, the rules have been laid out, so let us play, gentlemen. I have 4 questions per round, 2 questions for each of you, and of course, Little Mo and Mosette took this earlier today. However, both rounds will be questions about the Browns and the Seahawks or the Rams and the Seahawks. However, if you hear this sound, you have a special holiday question.
Oh, okay.
So get excited by that.
Yay!
All right. We will ask odds or evens. I think let's do it that way. We'll let Matt pick because he was the champion.
Oh, I'm odd.
You're odd. Okay. So Matt will have 1 and 3, and Mark will have 2 and 4.
All right.
All right. Here we go, gentlemen. Matt, are you ready?
Of course.
Your first question is a football question. Here you go.
Okay.
The last time the Browns played in Seattle, what was their only score? Their only score against Seattle. Was it a fumble recovery, an interception return, or a blocked punt? Last time the Browns played in Seattle, their only score was a fumble recovery, interception return, or a blocked punt. There's some Morgan, baby!
I see. If memory serves, it was something in the fourth quarter. It was some of those garbage last-minute nonsenses.
Fourth quarter nonsense, not an option.
What were the options again?
Fumble recovery, interception return, blocked punt.
I'm going to say block punt, just because it doesn't happen very often.
You're gonna say block punt, are you?
Yeah, just because it doesn't happen very often.
Bit of a fizzy-wig. Mosette said fumble recovery. Little Mo also said block punt. Yeah, block punt.
Oh,
congratulations.
total guess.
Well done. And Matt is on the board, Mark. Here you go.
All right.
Mark,
Yes.
you have a football question.
My goodness.
I like to pause for effect. Last time the St. Louis Rams won in Seattle, who was the game's leading rusher? Sean Alexander, Marshall Faulk, or Steven Jackson? That'd take you back. Last time the Rams won in Seattle, who was the game's leading rusher? Sean Alexander, Marshall Faulk, or Steven Jackson? There's a Morgan!
Wow. Man. I'm gonna go Steven Jackson,
I was going to go Steven Jackson.
which tells you how much of an SA fan I am.
Yeah, Mosette said Sean. Little Mo said Marshall Faulk. You said Steven Jackson. No. You should have gone with Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk
Wow.
was the game's leading rusher last time St. Louis won in
Really?
Seattle. What's that tell you?
What year was that?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. 55 yards.
1855. That's
Yeah, 1855. All right. Matt, question 3. Your second
Yes.
one in this round.
Mhm.
Oh, you got the holiday question. All right, your holiday question is this. Who was the first state in the United States to officially recognize Christmas as a holiday? First state in the U.S. to officially recognize Christmas as a holiday. Was it Alabama, Georgia, or Massachusetts? You know, I should have put some fake state in there if I knew you were going to get this one.
I'm not too bad on the states. It's just,
Alabama, Georgia, or Massachusetts, who was the first state in 1836 to officially recognize Christmas as a holiday?
I'll give you a little clue there.
Well, that's not really a massive clue because I have no
really,
idea.
no.
Let's ask the kids. Let's see what the kids
Let's
know
ask the
about
kids.
the states.
Little Mo said Alabama. Mosette said
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
Little
Every
Mo
time you
said
ask the kids,
Alabama.
you get it.
Little Mo said Alabama, did he?
Yeah, he did.
I'll go with Massachusetts, only because the Bee Gees had a great song about that.
Bee Gees had a great Massachusetts song.
Bee Gees.
Yeah, I know who they are, but I just know they have a song about Massachusetts.
I thought it was Massachusetts.
Should've gone with Alabama.
Damn it.
Lil Mo had it, Alabama. Sorry.
Wow, Alabama came up with that, huh?
Yeah, Alabama, 1836.
Oh, I thought that was the first inbred Christmas.
Oh, we kid Alabama because it needs to be kidded. Mark, you need to get on the board here, hopefully.
I do. That buzzer sound is just the story of my trivia life.
It is. So you have obviously a football question. Last time the Browns played in Seattle, who was their starting quarterback? Was it Tim Couch, Kelly Holcomb, or Jeff Garcia? Who started for the Browns the last time they were in Seattle? Tim Couch, Kelly Holcomb, or Jeff Garcia? There's a rich football quarterback tradition in Cleveland, isn't there?
Well, at least you narrowed it down to 3 out of the 48 that have played for them recently.
I could have gone on and on and on, but I didn't.
Oh my God. Okay, let's see. Kelly Holcomb, Jeff Garcia, or
Tim Couch.
The last time they played in Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Damn. Oh man. I'm gonna say
it's only a 2-hour show.
I know. Sorry, I'm gonna say Kelly Holcomb.
Kelly Holcomb. Wow. Kelly Holcomb. Little Mo said Kelly Holcomb. Mosette said Tim Couch. You hate that buzzer sound, don't you?
Dreadful.
There you go. You got it right.
Goodness.
Kelly
I
Holcomb.
got it wrong. I just said Couch. I'm sure Couch played in that game.
No, but he was out of the league so quickly that
starting quarterback was Kelly Holcomb. Sorry.
And then Jeff Garcia. I know he played.
If you
with
try
the
to keep
Browns.
track of the Browns quarterbacks, your head's just going to hurt. Don't even try.
Yeah, it's going to explode.
It was worth it, actually. My batting average is up to 189.
Yeah, there you go. And I tell you what, we're going to let Mark, since he tied you up, Mark gets to pick odds or evens for the second round.
Oh, well, that's my cue.
That's your cue. You're Mark.
Batman, Brick Mark.
Put
the
coins away. The tokens will wait.
I love Lamp and I love Odd.
Odd. Mark is odd.
Yes.
Just fits right in.
Which means Matt will be even. All right. Here we go. Mark. You, my friend. You have a holiday question.
Oh.
Right off the bat.
Holy bad Santa. Okay.
I know. Holy bad Santa. All right. Your question is this. In what year did the United States declare Christmas to be a national holiday? What year? 1850, 1860, or 1870? What year did our United States declare Christmas to be a national holiday?
Let's see. I'm going to say 1860.
He's going to say 1860. Mosette said 1850. Little Mo said 1860. You said 1860. Nah. 1870.
Oh,
June 26th, 1870.
Well, at least that buzzer was a quick shot to the head. So
it was a quick shot to the head.
Executioner style.
But the good news is
my other guess was 50. I love how I picked the. But I was deciding between two wrong answers.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's a Christmas question. That, who would know? The good news is we just have football questions from now on, so that's good news. And we'll start with Matt. With that, Matt, the last time the St. Louis Rams played in Seattle, how many sacks did the Seahawks have? That would have been last year, of course. How many sacks did the Seahawks have? 2, 3, or 4? You've already asked the kids, so you can't do it. How many sacks did the Seahawks have? 2, 3, or 4?
Yeah. I would probably say 3.
You would probably say 3, or you say 3?
Yeah, I'm saying 3.
Little Mo said 3. Mosette said 4. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's 4. It's 4.
Yeah.
Mark.
No.
Last time the Browns played in Seattle, how many touchdown passes did Matt Hasselbeck have for the Seahawks? 2, 3, or 4? Last time the Browns played in Seattle, Matt Hasselbeck touchdown passes, 2, 3, or 4?
I'll say 4 because I think.
Okay. Because you think what? You just think?
I do. I think.
Okay.
I think that was. I underestimated him last time he was in.
You
trivia,
did.
So I'll give
You
him the
did.
benefit of the doubt.
Mosette said 3. Little Mo said 4. That's 3.
Oh. We are terrible tonight, Mark.
Wow, 1-1.
Actually, I think
This one is probably the easiest question.
You caught the trivia disease.
Probably the easiest question I've ever asked on this show is coming up, I think, Matt. Because it's very recent. Last time the Rams played in Seattle, which was last year, who had an interception return for a touchdown for the Seahawks? Was it Bruce Irvin, Bobby Wagner, or KJ Wright? Last time the Rams played in Seattle, who had an interception return for a touchdown? Bruce Irvin, Bobby Wagner, or KJ Wright?
I paid more attention to these damn games.
I'll give you a clue. Little Mo goes, I
I would
remember,
say
and he
Bruce
had the right
Irvin,
answer.
In which case, it would be Bruce Irvin.
You're going with Bruce Irvin.
Yeah.
Yeah, both kids do that.
Yeah.
And Little Mo was like, I remember that. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you're awesome.
Little Mo would
All
remember
right.
that.
So it's 2-1, which means we will have a winner in the final trivia question. Trial trivia question, of course, is high-low. The closest to the number for the answer without going over wins the 2 points and is our champ. And if you're both over, the closest to the number wins the 2 points. We're going to start with Mark, and then we're going to finish up with Matt. All right. Here we go, gentlemen. Your final trivia question, Mark and Matt, is this. How many total points have the Seahawks scored against the Rams? Period. How many total points have the Seahawks scored against the Rams?
I'm going to sit down and let Mark add these up. And
Yes,
come up with
this
a
may
number.
take a while. Did you get your abacus fixed?
You may as well mute your mic because this is just. You mean in the whole history we've ever played this team?
Yes.
Oh God!
Oh,
I mean,
God.
holy cow! Well, okay, just give me allowances. I'd like a continuance, Your Honor.
More than 1, less than 2,000. Does that help?
Yeah, exactly.
Just so you know, Mark, I am going to Price is Right you at some point. Okay?
I know you are, and I don't blame you. So this is
played a
total
lot.
home and away, and the whole history of the whole team, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. And whether they were,
How many
whether
points
they
have
were in
we
our division or
scored?
not.
Scored against the Rams. That's it. How many total points Seattle scored?
Against the Rams altogether.
Oh man. Let's see. Now, for the sake of getting the show on the road, let's see. I'm gonna go. 461.
Mark's going 461. Matt?
462.
Oh, you
Just
are so
because.
cold.
Just because.
Just because?
Just because. It's got to be. I could go up and could go down. It's 50-50. So.
Guess what?
What was it?
767.
Wow, way low.
Damn.
Unbelievable. The dominance continues.
The domination.
Oh
What a
my
mark.
God, that's 9 out of 11 for you. We're gonna have to start setting new rules.
No, it's up to everybody else to get better because I routinely get 1 out of 3 questions right every time.
Oh, you priced
I would
right
never have
that was
guessed
so cold.
anywhere. I would never have. That was almost half the total of what they've
The
done.
thing is, I was always just going to Price and Right you. So.
No, I understand. No, but I never. The highest it would have gone would have been 5 something. I didn't think it would add up to that much. But
Matt's getting dirty. Matt's like, look, I was gonna screw you anyway, man. It don't matter.
But I told him before he even
Yeah,
guessed.
you said, I'm gonna screw you, and I screwed you. So there you go. Wow. What an amazing Action Field award-winning version.
No magic hat necessary this time.
No magic hat necessary. Coming up, we're going to talk about the upcoming games and make our predictions for the Seahawk Browns and the Seahawk Rams games. And we're going to do all of that coming up right after this.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
You got tools. Santa paid good money for those tools. Tools you have, you can't build garbage. You are garbage. Hit the bricks, pal, and beat it because you are going out.
Hey, our tools are weak.
Your tools are weak. The effing tools are weak. You're weak. I've been in this business for 615 years.
Hey, what's your name?
Screw you. That's my name.
It's the third quarter.
Welcome to the second half of episode 322 of your 12th Man Fan Jam show, where we take a closer look at the Seahawk opponent for the week after this game, which would be the Rams. We're going to talk about the keys to winning that game. Before we do, there's a lot going on. We got the holidays. We've got 2 games to talk about. But we also had Star Wars that came out, and we have a very special guest to sing for us right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Murray.
Star Wars.
Sing it, Bill.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Love it.
Give me the Star Wars.
All right.
Star Wars.
This is my favorite part.
If they shoot Star Wars, please let these Star Wars stay. And hey, how about that nutty Star Wars bar? Can you forget all the creatures in there?
All right, enough Bill Murray. Thank you, Bill Murray, for joining us. Star Wars debuted this evening as well, or the night before. Matt has seen it.
I have.
And you thought it was wonderful.
It was amazing. I mean, the fact, I don't want to give spoilers away to anyone, but I couldn't believe the fact that Jabba the Hutt married that giant bogey. I just thought it was an astonishing move.
Spoiler!
Yes.
I love your spoiler. Do you have a spoiler for the Star Wars show, Mark?
I do, and I have not seen it, but a little intergalactic bird told me that even at 59 years old, Princess Leia has not reached menopause, and so she's hot and heavy for the entire galaxy.
Awesome.
Mark,
Princess Leia not reaching menopause at 59. my spoiler for the Star Wars, I can't top that, but my spoiler for the Star Wars is I could not believe when I watched it that Han Solo is actually the dirty uncle of Leia and Luke. Who knew? That's disgusting. You know?
Well, he's all about the Han Solo, isn't he? So.
Oh my God! Yeah, exactly. Han Solo. That's what a lot of people that watch that movie probably are doing the night after.
Colin Kaepernick was in this movie, though. He was flying fighters and stuff to go and blow up bases and stuff, but he got intercepted on the way.
There you go.
Well done. All right.
Johnny Manziel was in the cantina scene.
No.
Just getting drunk.
Getting drunk. Oh my God! Oh, Johnny Manziel getting drunk at the cantina scene in Star Wars. Fantastic. This has been a lot of fun, but we do have I do have a serious story. It's a holiday story.
Yes.
And it's not really football related. And so I apologize.
Okay. Far from it.
But I figure if you've listened to the show this far, it doesn't matter what you say. You're going to listen to the rest of it. So I'm going to apologize in advance, but this is a real story. And of course I have, some background here. It is the holiday season, and as a public service, the 12th Man Fan Jam presents the following story. Brought to us by That's None of My Business News. An incident coming out of Greenville, North Carolina, is an example of what some people will do around the holidays when they are short on cash. 34-year-old mother 3 is now under arrest after a shoplifting incident turned tragic. Witnesses say that Shantini Green entered the North Carolina Walmart on Sunday with her 3 children, ages 5, 7, 8, grabbed a can of pre-made Christmas cookie dough. Closed caption TV footage shows the young mother take the can to the toy aisle. As her children crowded around her, she lifted up her skirt and made the can of cookie dough disappear. When Green was approached by Walmart security, she told her children to go find their aunt in the front of the store. I told her to hand over the cookie dough, said a security guard. That's when she turned around to run. I grabbed her by the arm. She put up a good fight, and that's when I tackled her to the ground. I heard a loud pop, and the lady started screaming. Gooey cookie dough was running down her leg, all hot and runny. It was gross. According to an eyewitness, the EMT that treated Green on the scene said the Pillsbury cookie dough can exploded inside her vagina, causing extreme pain. They removed the contents of the scene. The woman was treated, then released into the custody of Greenville police. While stabilizing Green, they found more. They found candy sprinkles and a number 6 birthday candle also wedged into her cavity. Green did not suffer any serious injuries and is being held at county jail a $2,000 bond. Her children are placed with family members. Please, folks, please, just buy the cookie dough.
Moses, there are 2 tragic things about this story. 2.
There are many tragic things about this story.
No. There are 2 tragic things. Firstly, there is something desperately wrong with your country because cookie dough is the easiest damn thing in the world to make, and yet you're stuffing it in cans. That to start with is tragic. The other tragic thing, of course, is that number 6 candle that she had stuffed up her vagina had been there for a year because it was actually for the birthday last year.
Oh God!
But she couldn't get the candle out, so that was a blessed relief for her when they finally did manage to get that candle out.
Dear Lord!
Talk about make a wish and blow.
Yes. Thank God her kid wasn't 31. All right. So please, people, please, just buy the cookie dough. Please, I don't know more to say.
Just make the cookie dough. Don't buy the damn cookie dough, America. Stop buying stuff in tins.
Just make cookie dough. If you can't buy it, just make it. Okay. We'll move on. We have football to talk about, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
That reminds me of an old Oingo Boingo song. Do you remember that group?
Oingo Boingo, sure.
Yeah, there was one called "Fill the Void," and
oh God,
rather appropriate. And she's also the Pillsbury Doughboy is going to have something to say about the sport. So,
because Mark's going to be watching that CCTV footage, putting tokens into a slot.
He is. You know he is. She's okay though, so we can laugh about this because the lady is okay. So we don't. It wasn't tragic. She
has a slight yeast infection, but other than that, she's absolutely
fine. No.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the Rams game, shall we? If we can, we're going to take a look.
It's one of those situations.
Talk about ramming it.
Well, when Sesame Street's Cookie Monster's going to come in and go, oh, hell no.
Oh, my Lord. We have. There are no listeners right now. People, no one's going to listen to this after this.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't either. All right. Here we
Very juvenile.
Right. Third quarter, we're going to talk the Rams game eventually. And cookie dough, probably. When Seattle has the ball, 5th-ranked offense against the 19th-ranked defense of St. Louis, and that's surprising because they're supposed to be, a really good defensive club, and they were Thursday night. They did defeat the Buccaneers. Did us a favor actually in doing that. But when St. Louis has the ball, of course, our 2nd-ranked defense against their 31st-ranked offense, and I don't know if either of you watched that game Thursday night. I couldn't stomach it because the uniforms, that whole, oh my God. Ketchup and mustard.
It was like blood meets pus.
It was awful.
It was awful. It was like cookie dough meat. No, I'm not going to go there.
Another cookie dough reference. But if you could watch it, I guess Mark, offensively, the Rams, obviously there's a guy that's incredibly talented, and that's Gurley, and he is amazing. He's an amazing runner, isn't he?
He is good. He's been the one bright spot on that whole offense all year. Once again, they don't have a quarterback. They don't. It's the same old every year in fan form. It's always like, when's this offense going to come around? And it's I don't know for how many years now. How long has Jeff Fisher been there? They've been trying to get this thing going for a while.
A long time.
But Gurley Man is he's legit, and at least they have something to build around that way. But not much else happening for him that side of the ball. So
yeah, I agree. Meanwhile, Matt, on defensively, this team is always known to be a pretty good team defensively. But 19th, I could this be a case? I don't know. Could this be a case of their offense just not bailing out their defense very much?
Probably, but it doesn't really matter. Let me put all of that. And I'm sorry, Statman Mark, but let me put all the stats to one side. This is the Rams. The Rams play us differently than they play anybody else anyway.
Sure.
You're never quite sure what you're going to get with the Rams. You know you're going to get injuries. Let me tell you that now. You know you're going to get penalties. You might even get players sent off after smashing up referees in the faces and all sorts of stuff. We have no idea how the Rams are going to play us in this one, but they're going to play us hard because they always play us hard. So you can take all them stats, you can shuffle them about and try and find reasons for it, but it's not going to make a blind bit of difference to the game you see them play against us. That's a completely bespoke thing.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying it's going to be a close game, it sounds like.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Mark, what's your thought on that? Close game? We won't go into predictions, but...
Yeah, well, I'll just say I still see us winning by double digits because, they can give us fits, but it's just something where we're on a roll. I know they're going to be motivated. So it's a division game, and we're not going to take them lightly. But we should have beaten them week 1. As it
yes,
they had a huge hand in letting us get back into that game to give us the opportunity to win. But I still, at the end of the day, the way we're going, and we're going to be even more motivated. I think it ends up being not a big double-digit win, but I would say, double digits.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. What's your one key to this game, Matt? And it's hard to say 2 weeks from now, but if everything stays status quo between now and that game, what is the one key to beating the Rams?
Penalties. You can't give them easy fields. You can't give them that extra 5 yards to get a third down. You can't let them to extend drives. You can't allow false starts to get in the way. You can't pass interference calls. You can't have any of that. Really, you've got to play the cleanest game of your life because all the penalties should be on their side of the ball. Their frustration comes out, their anger comes out. Fisher's, trick plays and all that sort of nonsense starts coming out in order to, fake punts and God knows what else. But for us, we have to play a disciplined game. We have to play our game. And injuries, I tell you now, you've got to, if you're Russell Wilson, get that knee down and slide early.
Yes.
Because these guys don't mess about, and we have far too many injuries coming out of these games normally.
Good point. Mark, your key to this game?
When I look at a team like the Rams and the season that they've had and how inept they are, 31st offensively? Is that what they're ranked?
Yes. So, 32nd passing. They're last in the league, dead last at passing.
Okay. Well, either way, it's along the same lines as Matt mentioned with penalties, but it's turnovers giving them a shorter field to work with, and that's how you let less penalties, obviously, to keep drives going, put them in better field position, but also turnovers, special teams. That's the one kind of thing that we're still sketchy with us is field goal attempts and even ATs, and just that general weirdness that allows the Rams to stay within a score or so.
Yeah.
I would just say turnover. They're always key, but especially against this team and where they're at and what we're trying to do.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I actually, you're talking about trick plays. I actually did some research and I found 3 ways the Rams can beat the Seahawks in 2 weeks. So here are 3 ways that the Rams can defeat the Seahawks. Number 3, a sneak attack bachelor party for Russell Wilson at halftime.
Right.
Because, he got engaged apparently. And if they can pull him away for that bachelor party, it could be trouble. Number 2, meet the new head of officiating, Marshall Faulk. That would be really bad for us. And the 3rd way that the Rams can defeat the Seahawks, the Rams head coach Jeff Fisher's latest trick play involves sneaking 15 players onto the field for offense and defense. So to me, that's the keys to the game. If we can keep that from happening, I think we're in good shape.
Well, he is on the competition committee, so he'll...
There you go. See?
15.
Speaking of competition, it's time for our prediction competition to 4th quarter.
It's the end of the 3rd quarter, bitches.
Yes, coming up next, predictions, prognostications, and game balls for the upcoming games between the Seahawks and the Browns and the Seahawks and the Rams. Right after quick station identification. You are listening and watching the 12th Man Fan Jam Show, doubling your pleasure, doubling your fun. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
If any of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one. I like my boss right here tonight. I want him brought from his happy holiday slumber over there on Melody Lane with all the other rich people, and I want him brought right here with a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey he is. Hallelujah! Holy where's the Tylenol?
It's time for the fourth quarter of the 12th Man Fan Jam. Here to lead us through the final quarter is once again our host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, welcome to the fourth and final quarter of a very special holiday Star Wars Rams Browns. It's just been amazing episode of your 12 Man Fan Jam show. We want to remind you again, we will not be airing next week, but the week after, we will be back for our Cardinals game. So, in the fourth quarter is when we do our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls. We have two games to do. We have first the Browns game, and then we have the Rams game. Of course, we're keeping score on our predictions. There's the scoring again, and then our overall scores. I will not embarrass Matt by sharing that out loud. No. You can see it on your screen. We will do our predictions now. Our guest predictor this week, we always have a guest, is Dana Patera. Dana is a dear friend of mine. I've known her for years. Wonderful, wonderful lady. And it's funny because I told a story, the guys between quarters. True story. When Dana and I had met on a website, SeahawksOut.com, and the first time we met out for a game, she had a jersey, a 12 jersey with Patera on the back, and I thought, man, this girl's hardcore because she's got the name of the first coach of the Seahawks on the back of her jersey. And I'm like, man, you must be a heck of a fan. You got Patera's name. She goes, that's my last name. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, I'm related to Jack. So she's actually related to Jack Patera, which is pretty cool. And I think that's why she's just a huge Seahawk fan. Wonderful, wonderful lady. Love her to death. Our first game is obviously the Browns game. And she says the Browns game, Seahawks over Browns 38-10. Wilson's going to have 333 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He's also going to have 103 yards rushing. And he'll be MVP of the game, and that's our game ball, obviously. For our missing posse members, Will says his pick is Seahawks 31, Browns 3. Not too worried about this one. Prognostication is Seahawk will rush for 100 yards. And the game ball for him will go to Michael Bennett. Dustin, who is on assignment, says 35-9 Seahawks. Bennett for the game ball, and the Seahawks will get 3 sacks. Now, we go to Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
What is your pick for this game, Browns game?
Well, for Cleveland, what can the Browns do for you? Well, not much. I'm surprised that bad joke has been overlooked.
We haven't said that the whole day. The whole night we've not said that.
Right. But, beneath all that bong resin, there's still a little... Let's see. Now, score-wise, I'm looking at 38-13 Seahawks.
All right.
And I think Johnny Boy, we got to get him in here. He'll throw 3 interceptions that he remembers.
Oh, you bastard.
I didn't know if you were going to... Well, anyway, Manziel...
You got it first.
That's all right. You can share.
I'm just going to have to price this right, now.
There's nothing that says you can't share.
Actually, if that comes through, all the better. But I'll say 3 interceptions. And he will remember them. That's my twist. And then, let's see, for a game ball, you know what, I will go with, I think Angry Doug, ADB, touchdown streak, but I'll give the game ball to Doug.
Game ball to Baldwin, all right. Matt, hi, Matt.
Hi, Moses.
How's your cookie dough?
My cookie dough is not in a tin, I can tell you that much.
All right.
Just to say as well, and Dana, bless her heart, when I met her as well on the same year in 2013 that you were talking about, when we met her in Motherland together, and the best thing about Dana was I met her at the whole party that we have afterwards, during the whole Motherland event, and she spent the whole night telling me and talking to me, and all of a sudden she went, "Oh my God, you speak British." And it was like, no, I don't speak British. I am British. That's how it works. Bless her heart. But she is amazing. I'll put a little picture on the screen. Actually, I've got a little picture. I'll send it to you. Of me and Dana. Bless her. Yes. So you want some predictions for the Browns game? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna say Browns 10 because I agree with Mark. They are going to get a garbage TD and they are going to get at least one field goal. So 10. Seattle 31.
All right.
I think I'm going to have to price this right, Mark. Because I'm going to have to now, because it seems to work. So Johnny Manziel will throw 4 INTs.
Ah, all right.
And he will be benched.
Wow.
Oh, nice. For who?
I'm going to go, because I'm so far behind on the points now, I could sit here and predict that aliens will land in the middle of half time and probably get more points than if I made a serious prediction.
Actually, right now, Matt, you should get a bonus if you can name the Browns backup QB not named.
I haven't got a clue.
McCown. Exactly. Who? Actually, that'd be an interesting.
It's a McCown, isn't it?
No, he's out though. He's on IR.
Oh,
he's out.
Yeah.
No
so
idea.
who is? It's not Kelly Holcomb, is it?
It's Mike Pettini. Mike Pettini, whatever his name is, will come out and do it. The coach, he will just come out and do it.
Probably.
I don't know. Is that something we could look up now? All of a sudden, I'm curious. Who's that?
I have no idea who the backup quarterback is.
I don't know.
Well, you can go and do that while I finish my prediction.
Yes,
right.
you do that.
There you go.
I'll give my game ball then, I think, because there'll be 4 INTs, I'm going to give my game ball to a defense. I'm going to give it to Earl Thomas.
Oh, Earl Thomas.
Something different.
All right, E.T. And now it's my turn. Real quick, the backup quarterback is Austin Davis. Remember from the Rams, ironically?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a backup. All right.
Oh.
Browns game. I'd like to be more cautious going into this game, but I just can't look at Johnny Manziel facing the 12s in December and worry at all. Even the Browns defense is usually pretty good, but this year, I mean, look for Russell Wilson to provide over 400 yards of offense running and passing this Sunday, which is my prognostication. With those lofty numbers, how isn't he my game ball? Well, because that goes to Michael Bennett, who will spend more time in Manziel's grill than a waitress at Hooters on a Saturday night. With those picks, you must think the score is going to be ugly, and I think it will. In fact, I've been doing predictions for the Seahawks game since 1998, and I don't think I've ever picked a game this lopsided in my score. Watch the Seahawks destroy the Browns as the Seahawks win by a score of Seattle Seahawks 38, Cleveland Browns 6.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Okay. Now it's time for our predictions, prognostications, and game balls for the Seahawks-Rams game. Dana on the Rams game says Seahawks over Rams 34-19. Wilson has 2 touchdowns and 254 yards passing and 48 yards rushing. Lockett runs back a kickoff for a touchdown. Baldwin gets 2 TDs, and Baldwin is her game ball. Will says 20-13 Seahawks over Rams, and he says those yellow bastards always play us tough, and he's right. Yeah. Prognostication, Tyler Lockett will have a return touchdown and game ball to Russell Wilson. Dustin, 24-13 Seahawks. Wilson with the game ball, and Russell Wilson will be the leading rusher in the game overall. Mark, how do you see the Rams game 2 weeks from now?
You know what? I think we're going to win this coming Sunday. I think we're going to be on such a roll that we're not going to overlook the Rams by any measure. But again, I think the Rams. They're a mess offensively, and they're not going to be able to keep up. They're also missing, I think, Robert Quinn on the defensive line.
They are, I believe they are.
And I think, is he out for the year? I mean, that's a huge loss, but maybe I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think he is. That is a huge loss, but they do have quite a lot of defensive linemen that are very good.
They do, but they're going to be on the field all day, and they're going to be gassed. And this one, it might be close in the first half, but I see Seattle pulling away for a 33-6. And let's see, prognostication. I think, boy, any number of things come to mind here. You know what? I'll say that Russell Wilson has 400 yards passing. Off. And he'll get my game ball because I never pick RW anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mark, what was your score again, sir?
I'm sorry. Did I said 33-16?
Thank you. Yep. All right, Matt.
Yes.
What is your prediction, prognostication, and game ball?
This is going to be one of them games, guys. It's going to be the Rams 20, Seahawks 24.
Woo!
I think the Rams will have 15 penalties.
Wow.
My goodness.
And I don't think we'll be far behind, sadly, either. But that's not part of it. 15 penalties is the prognostication for the Rams.
It is.
I'm going to give my game ball to Irvin.
Bruce Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
Or Michael Irvin. Are you doing Michael Irvin?
We'll go with Robert. We'll go with Robert Irvin. Bruce Turbin.
Bruce Turbin. All right. My turn again. The Rams. Nobody's given the Seahawks more fits over the last couple of years than these guys. Nobody seems to know what buttons to press against the Seahawks like these guys. And nobody seems to know just how to beat the Seahawks just like the Rams. But not this time. I could bore you with a lot of chatter, but the bottom line is the Seahawks are a much better team than the Rams right now. Watch the Seahawks hold Gurley the less than 70 yards rushing. That's my prognostication. Watch my game ball recipient Bobby Wagner tear up the Rams offense like a one-man wrecking ball. Watch the Seahawks destroy the undermanned and outcoached Rams as the Seahawks win by a score of Seattle Seahawks 30, St. Louis Rams 13.
Ooh.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ooh, well. There it is. Looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12th Man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We are so glad you decided to waste some time with us. It was, as usual, a show that raised the bar here at the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
Except for cookie dough. But...
Except for cookie dough. We certainly hope you laughed a little.
That didn't rise.
Yeah.
And maybe you learned a little something along the way. What did we learn in this show? Well, we learned that Matt likes to see our defense stiffen up.
Mm-hmm.
We also learned that Matt is a qualified doctor, a self-qualified doctor, I should say.
Self-qualified doctor. Mm-hmm.
We've learned that Mark likes tokens. And we've learned that you just make cookie dough. Just make it. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt from Married Old England, on behalf of Statsman Mark, and for those who are not here, Shadowhawk Will and Dustin as the Beaver, this is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity saying, enjoy the games. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks. And as always, go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks. Have a good Christmas, everybody.
Just bite the dough.